The era of the neutral, hands-off AI lab is officially dead. On February 27, 2026, the tech industry didn't just witness a partnership, it witnessed a geopolitical coup that has fundamentally rewritten the rules for Silicon Valley. Within hours of the Trump administration blacklisting Anthropic as a supply chain risk to national security, OpenAI swooped in to fill the void, signing a massive, classified deal with the Department of War. This isn't about ChatGPT helping soldiers write emails. This is about the most powerful reasoning models on Earth being integrated into the inner sanctum of the American military machine. The Anthropic Purge. Left-wing nut jobs. To understand what's happening at OpenAI, you have to understand the carnage that happened at Anthropic first. For months, Anthropic had been the Pentagon's darling, the safe alternative to Sam Altman's perceived aggressive expansion. But the relationship imploded over two non-negotiable red lines: mass domestic surveillance and fully autonomous lethal weapons. When Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei refused to strip these guardrails from the Claude models, the response from Washington was nuclear. President Trump labeled the company left-wing nut jobs, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth took the unprecedented step of designating a domestic U.S. tech company as a supply chain risk. This effectively banned every military contractor, from Lockheed Martin to the smallest software supplier, from doing business with Anthropic. The Midnight Deal. Opportunistic and sloppy. As Anthropic was being exiled, OpenAI was in the waiting room. By Friday night, Sam Altman had signed the deal to deploy OpenAI's frontier models within the Pentagon's classified networks, the same networks Anthropic had just been kicked out of. The optics were so bad that Altman himself had to go on a weekend damage control tour. He admitted on X that the announcement was rushed, opportunistic, and sloppy. But while the PR was a mess, the contract was a masterstroke of corporate positioning. OpenAI claims they secured the very same red lines that Anthropic died for, but with a different architectural approach. The three red lines. OpenAI's safety stack. OpenAI is betting its reputation on a three-pronged contract framework that they claim is stronger than anything seen before. The contract explicitly prohibits mass domestic surveillance. The AI cannot be used to monitor or track U.S. citizens, including through the use of data purchased from data brokers. Fully autonomous lethal weapons. The models will not be used to independently direct force without a human in the loop. High-stakes automated decisions. No social credit-style systems or automated life-altering legal decisions. But here is the catch that has critics, including nearly 100 of OpenAI's own employees, up in arms. The contract states the AI system can be used for all lawful purposes. In 2026, the definition of lawful is a moving target. The software orchestrator in the war room. What does OpenAI actually do for the Department of War? According to the leaked $200 million pilot program details, the focus is on agentic logistics and cyber defense. We are talking about War GPT, a specialized version of the O1 reasoning series that can translate voice commands to drone swarms. OpenAI is already involved in a $100 million prize challenge to develop voice-controlled autonomous drone technology, simulate battle scenarios, using the high reasoning capabilities of their latest models to run millions of what-if simulations for the Joint Chiefs, real-time cyber patching, identifying and closing vulnerabilities in the U.S. power grid before an adversary can exploit them. The internal mutiny. The most surprising part of this story isn't the government, it's the people inside the building. On March 3, 2026, protesters swarmed OpenAI's San Francisco headquarters. Inside, an open letter signed by 98 OpenAI staff and nearly 700 Google employees called for a total refusal to allow their technology to be used for surveillance and autonomous killing. Altman's response to his own team was chillingly pragmatic. You do not get to make operational decisions. You don't get to weigh in on whether the Iran strike was good or the Venezuela invasion was bad. This marks a total departure from the AI for humanity ethos that OpenAI was founded on. The company has dropped the word safely from its mission statement. In 2026, the goal is simply AGI for American dominance. The hidden risk, the cloud-only trap. OpenAI has insisted that their models are only deployed via cloud networks, never on edge devices, the actual hardware on a drone or missile. They claim this allows them to pull the plug if the Pentagon violates the red lines. But critics argue this is safety theater. If a war breaks out and the Pentagon is relying on OpenAI's reasoning models to manage its logistics, do we really believe Sam Altman will hit the off switch on the US military? The moment the model becomes essential to national survival, OpenAI loses all leverage. The off switch becomes a treason button. What does this mean for you? Even if you don't care about the military, this partnership changes your relationship with AI. The end of privacy? OpenAI has admitted that their models can now be used for lawful intelligence activities. While they claim to block domestic surveillance, the line between foreign intelligence and domestic data is paper-thin in a globalized internet. The resource war. Every GPU used by the Pentagon is one less GPU available for your creative projects or business tools. Expect OpenAI for Government to always take priority over your ChatGPT Plus subscription. The talent drain. Top-tier safety researchers are fleeing OpenAI for Anthropic or boutique ethical labs, while the war tech engineers are flocking to San Francisco for the massive government contracts. We are witnessing the birth of the AI industrial complex. It's no longer about a helpful chatbot, it's about a digital sovereign. OpenAI isn't just a company anymore, it is a functional branch of the US national security state. The real question isn't whether OpenAI is crossing red lines. The question is, in a world of 2026-level AI, do red lines even exist once the contract is signed? Tell me in the comments, are you sticking with ChatGPT now that it's officially enlisted, or are you moving to the exiled models like Claude? See you next time.